Hello again, I'm Janelle Thompson, your nurse practitioner at the Student Health Clinic, and welcome to another episode of What the Health. Today, I am going to give you a short and brief explanation of the confusion of the COVID-19 vaccine plan. And this is very basic, but I think that's what everybody really needs right now. Initially, COVID-19 happened. And when that happened, the vaccines were first developed. Those were the monovalent vaccines because there was just one variant of COVID, just the original COVID-19. So we were able to then get the vaccine, and that, when we had our primary series, brought our levels up so that we had some effective immunity against COVID-19. Now, that didn't mean that we couldn't get infected. It just meant that if we got infected, that hopefully we would not have a severe illness and that we would not be hospitalized, and hopefully the virus maybe wouldn't replicate as much. We found that after we had had those vaccines, that as COVID continued to go on and more research was done, because remember everybody, this was a brand new virus and still really is just a few years old, found that that level of immunity started to wane a bit. And so that's when it was found that we should have a booster to bring those levels back up. So what did the booster do? The booster just refreshes the recognition of our memory cells. And it brought our levels back up to the baseline to recognize the COVID virus and again protect us. Now, during that time, COVID-19 mutated. And of course, if you followed the CDC, there were lots of different changes that went on with the COVID, dozens of different mutations that occurred. And there were certain ones that really caused primary troubles in the United States. But Omicron was the big game changer. So Omicron came around, and that mutation led us to realize that there needed to be more vaccine to protect us. And so science went back and created another vaccine to help against those variants that were Omicron and some of the variants of Omicron beyond that, and said we need to give people another vaccine. What they did is they noticed then at the same time that the original vaccine needed to be boosted again. So they combined the two together and made the bivalent, which means two, booster, and that's what people are getting now. So the reason I think it's important to just make this very basic is when I'm seeing some people here in the Student Health Clinic, they're saying, well, I don't really need to get the booster because I already had the booster. Well, this is different. So if you had this booster, you really aren't protected maybe against this. So where would that be an exception? If you did have COVID within the last 3 months or so, then you probably did have an Omicron variant, but that doesn't mean that you still shouldn't get this booster, because you still need to bring those cells, those memory cells, back up. But we just recommend you wait 3 months then. So I will not go into any further detail with that, but I am always open to have you come into the clinic because I'd love to talk to you more about it. If you have other questions, please give us a call, and remember that the Student Health Clinic is always free to you.